There are some things you can only learn in a storm, by immersing yourself in that controlled chaos. Because in doing that, you make yourself the master of whatever the situation is.
Controlled chaos. I think that video was super interesting and super relevant because I did something like that recently. And by recently, I mean this past year. Um, in the past few years, I've been working on myself, my anxiety specifically, because I never really tried to handle it or resolve my issues. I don't think I'm there yet, where I've resolved my anxiety, but I'm currently working on rewiring my mind and building my own toolkit, so to say, to handle my anxiety. And one of the things that I did this past year, or um, wait, actually, it's been a year. It's been 2 years since I started streaming, but I started this particular project this past year to work through my anxiety, and it was creating this controlled, chaotic environment where I knew I knew my anxiety would get triggered, and I embraced the experience. The the particular controlled chaos that I'm referring to in my instance is um, getting close to someone who I would say is emotionally unavailable. I'm not gonna go too much into the emotionally unavailable aspects because that's just a topic of its own. But I grew to really care about this person, and I understood the risks I was taking, um, because I know how I am when I really care about someone. And I know that when you're emotionally unavailable, you can't give as much, just aren't able to. And so I embraced the experience, and I had an idea of what the limitations were and how I would feel. And it was exactly that helped me find ways to cope with my anxiety, because my anxiety would trigger due to several things, and I was able to figure out what it was that triggered me and what my triggers were. And knowing those things helped me find a solution, and it helped me rewire my mind to think about these situations differently, so that basically I would be able to help myself with future scenarios. If that makes sense. But I think it takes a lot of mental strength um, and self awareness, because it certainly wasn't easy. But I think I gained a lot from this experience, gained a lot by tackling the situation head on, and facing my anxieties. And I'm grateful for making it through. I'm grateful for making it through. It certainly wasn't easy, but um, sometimes if you're able to, a controlled, chaotic environment it might just be what you need. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone, but for something like learning to cope with your mental illnesses, if you can, I think it works out pretty well. Um, but I don't know. This is kind of personal, and it's not gonna vibe with everyone. But it's on my mind recently because of how much I've grown and where I am now. So I kind of wanted to talk about it. But um, I put my thoughts in my most recent blog post. So I am not gonna go in depth with it, but I just wanted to bring up this topic of a controlled, chaotic environment because it might work out for you. But it's definitely interesting to think about. I'm gonna link the blog post in my description if you want to read it. But yeah, thank you for listening.